Welcome back to Redstone with Dave.
And Baker, hello,
What are we doing today?
tripwires.
Yeah.
So this is another
Oh
type of
boy.
input,
Is this like
and
Mission Impossible style?
yeah, exactly. So they're kind of similar to pressure plates, except you can
Oh yeah.
obviously string them across really long areas. Oh yeah, the other thing, this is a crafting recipe for comparators. It's another thing I forget a lot.
Oh yeah.
And then this is the crafting recipe for tripwires in the back.
Okay.
This
Do I
this
supply?
string you see on the ground, sort of like this
Okay.
trip wire on
Yeah.
the ground, is actually string. So if you just place string, so there's some string, and then you can place
Oh.
down the string, and it acts as like a little wire.
Oh, that was kind of refreshing. I thought after I went over the tripwire, something was going to explode, but they just turned the lights on.
No.
I
uh,
suppose you could put dynamite on top or something like
yes, you could.
that. Well, I'm glad I
Uh,
didn't just blow up the whole exhibit. Cool. So it's just string, and then what's this thing? Is that just a wait? That's what's this thing right here? This is a
tripwire hook,
tripwire hook. There we go.
which is the thing you craft right here. And if you
Okay.
notice, I can jump over this tripwire hook, and then you can also walk through that. So if you could get off, uh, get off my tripwire. You can also walk through in this area and not trigger it.
Oh, nice. It's good to
But
know.
if you walk over it,
Oh.
and so the converse of that is using a floating tripwire. And I don't really know why you can make floating tripwires, but I mean, I guess it makes sense. You can do that in real life.
Yeah.
But you can make floating tripwires, and in this case, if you filled in the blocks here, you actually can't get around this. Oh. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, struggles of using this. So this it's weird. Tripwires you just have to fiddle with till they work.
Hmm.
It, so this doesn't work because there's a block there.
So
For some reason, the block on this side does work.
what's powering the light exactly? Does
These tripwire hooks. So this
okay.
tripwire hook is sending power to the block,
Okay.
and then that block. So this block is strongly powered,
Hmm.
and then the lights around it are sort of weakly powered.
I see. So these tripwire hooks actually have redstone in them.
Yes.
I see. That makes sense.
And then additionally, they power blocks around them like that too.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
So tripwire hooks and the way they power things and the work are really weird. So like I can put a block right here and this works, right? But if I
That
put
did
a
work.
block under this one, it no longer works.
Oh, that is really weird.
So you just have to fiddle around with it. It's a pain.
Right.
But
Little
this one
finicky,
has
but
the advantage that, and you can sort of get around this by using stairs. So like if you don't want to deal with the glitchiness, but you don't want people to be able to get around your tripwire, you can put stairs because stairs aren't full blocks, and full blocks is what triggers this.
mm,
And so this still works, and I can't get around it, and I can't jump over it. Like I'm always going to be hitting it whenever I walk through this area.
gotcha. That's handy.
Um, and the other thing is floating tripwires cannot actually have any blocks under them. So if you notice, if I do that, it triggers once, and then this string breaks. So there's no longer any string here. This doesn't work. But the string back does work. Additionally, if you break a tripwire, you notice it still triggers. So that's kind of a cool safety mechanism. So when you break a tripwire, you still get an output. So somebody who's clever and sees your tripwire and they break your tripwire,
Hmm.
it still sends an output. So if you have a trap, they'll still die.
Oh.
However, if you use shears and break it, it doesn't, because shears are very, you just like, it's a clean snip, right?
Right.
So shears, no signal, no shears, signal.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah. And we would normally go over to this next section, but we already went here
We did this one.
because I'm organized. All right.
Awesome.
So that is sort of like the basic inputs of most of the basic inputs. There's a couple of other fancy things you can do, like placing down a redstone block.
Hmm.
Um, and then the final input that we're going to be going over at some time in the future is bud switches, which is that thing I showed you with the pistons that's really derpy.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, that's inputs. There you have it.